everybody, it's Ike from Flipside Music, and welcome to What the F.A.Q, Season 3, Episode 8.
Yes.
And as always, I'm here with
Dylan.
Of the Northern Colorado Dilleonians.
Yeah, the Northern Washburn.
Washburns. Yeah, he's a fourth removed from Seymour Washburn that started the Washburn Company.
You know what sucks about
in the
that?
early 1700s?
Yeah, it was like, I think it was one of their middle names, whoever started it. Like, Washburn was the middle name or something, which I've never met anybody that had Washburn as a middle name.
A middle name?
Yeah.
Maybe you got to change that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's
maybe you need to change that.
Yeah.
You could do, when if you have a kid, you can call him Dylan Washburn. Yeah. Then it could be DW2. Bam!
Well, I'm already
He's the coolest
DW2.
rapper.
Yeah.
Coolest rapper in Denver.
Well, it was funny because that was my tag for forever was just D2W because it's DWW in terms of my initials. So, but yeah, well, it was just funny with the. It always reminds me of that dude with the guitar when I asked him if I could check it out. He's like, "Well, does it have your name on it?" And I said, "Well, yeah, it sure does."
It does. Well, see, we're off the rails. We were off the rails already.
Well, we got to start each episode that way. It's kind of the thing now.
It kind of seems to be the way. So if you guys are new here, which we got a decent amount of cool new subscribers.
We did.
So we appreciate you guys coming in. Obviously, Metalhead Hippie, we appreciate you throwing people our way. So if you guys are new here for the FAQs, please ring the bell. Just, we got to say that. Because that's
ring the bell and hit the like button. That actually both of those help a ton.
Helps a ton. Yeah. And like I said, if you're new here, it's a weekly question and answer show. You ask us a question, we give you an answer. That's all, and then we go off the rails and talk about other shit for a while.
Yes.
So.
So yeah, I think we have a few questions. The first two of them are kind of redundant, so we might kind of combo this one. But we can start with the first one. Yes. Yeah. Is that Pat?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
And he was here yesterday. I think we fixed this problem.
Oh, okay. That's why. Okay. Well, anyway, for posterity, we'll go ahead and answer it anyway. So, PFRITZD, which is Pat, his first question is recommended isolated power supply for your board. That's a pretty open-ended question without knowing some of the details. So, in general, guidelines would be obviously figure out how many ports you need. So, how many pedals you need to power. And then if you're running a lot of digital stuff, I would probably edge towards Strymon for the most part if you're running a lot of higher-end digital pedals. If you're running more analog stuff, then anything from like Walrus or Voodoo Labs or any of those are all solid.
Get the job done.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got a lot of high current stuff, if I remember.
Yeah, knowing Pat, probably not. But yeah, Strymon's definitely very solid if you need like high current on each one of the ports.
I don't think he's got Strymon. I think he's got Dark Glass, Swollen Pickle.
Okay, yeah, Dark Glass would probably be the biggest of what he's running. That's probably the biggest power consumer.
And it's just making me think, PFRITZD. I wonder if its middle name is Fritz.
Patrick Fritz. What's
Dubois?
Patrick Fritz Dubois.
So that's international.
That actually might work. PFRITZD. Yeah,
right. That's International House of Pancakes right there.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at it going, okay.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
Maybe a
secret has been revealed about Pat.
Yeah, when you watch this later today, Pat, ask us. We may have uncovered your secret.
Yeah, let us know if we're right.
All right. Next, what kind of issues can you run into if your pedal is not getting enough power or too much power? So too much power, that's not good.
Yes, and by too much power, that's usually going to be a voltage issue, not a current issue, because pedals will generally only pull as much current as they need. So, yeah, voltage would be where you'd run into the issues. And like a lot of pedals, like any Klon style pedals or even Lawrence's, like LPD's pedals, he has like internal charge pumps that I think cover in like the 22 to 24 volt range. So when you have that going on, usually what it's doing is it's taking that 9 volt, but internally it's charging that up to 22, 24-ish, and that's just for more headroom. Mm-hmm. But if you throw like 18 volts in there, the problem with that is it's just multiplying it, so then it's just way too much for it. Even 12 volts in that situation can be too much.
So yeah, too much, you could burn it out. Not enough, it's just not going to work right.
Yeah.
The light might come on, but it might not work.
Right. And these days, most of the time, there's like a little resistor that they wire in there. At least most companies do, so that if anything like that happens, that it takes that out instead of taking the whole board out, or the, the whole, which can't happen.
Hey, this pedal doesn't work. You guys sent me a broken one. And then we get it back and we open it up and it smells like burnt shit. And we're like, oh yeah.
And then the resistor's like charred and cracked.
And it's always it's always we sent them the burnt thing, and it's like, no, we didn't.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, pedals don't come pre-burnt.
So here's a tip. If you guys do something stupid with a pedal, call the company you bought it for and just kind of be honest. Don't blame them for the thing.
The more honest you are, the more understanding they're going to be.
And more receptive.
Yeah.
Because we got people that are sometimes just straight up bull crapping us, and it's like, come on, man. Like, we know we didn't send it out.
Right.
We had one guy that claimed the bedrock of his foundation.
Yeah, it was the foundational part of his tone.
His tone was this OC5 by Boss, and that we sent him a busted one, and it must have been a demo model and all this other.
Inspired with the Pedal Thieves Guild to get him a messed up pedal, because obviously some human had touched it to put the screw into the back of the pedal.
Right. So he had this whole thing. He wrote us 3 long emails, and I was like, and from the get-go, I was just like, man, just send it back. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. Send it back. I'm not going to buy you a gift card to Domino's.
Well, yeah, and the third and fourth email wasn't really going to change that approach either.
Well, by the third email, it almost changed my approach.
Well, yeah.
I was getting real close to changing my approach.
Well, I'm saying that, the people should know that that's not going to help usually.
Yeah. Trust me. You get farther with honey. But anyway, guys... Yeah, the dude sends the pedal back. We get it in. We plug it in. It's fine. It was perfectly fine. We literally sold it the next day because it was right when the OC5s came out and everybody wanted one.
Right.
So we got it back. We tested it out. No problem. Put it on the floor. Dude bought it. And guess what happened?
It's perfectly fine.
That pedal's never come back. It hasn't come back. So
it's the bedrock foundational part of somebody else's tone.
And that dude was so adamant about us giving him the wrong thing, and then it was fine. Yeah. So clearly, it's like, I don't know how much of a bedrock you got there, son.
And honestly, that happens.
You use your own pedal.
Yeah,
that's the foundational pedal, and you don't even know how to use it.
Yeah, I still think he was going out of the through. I still think he was just
most likely. But the dude did email me, and he said, I had a similar problem just last week when I tried to order a Source Audio pedal. But by the way he ranted on his email, I didn't want to engage with going, hey man, maybe it is your power supply that you're having an issue with. I mean, it could be, God forbid, it could be your fault.
Well, no, I remember even like the first 2 weeks I was working here, I had sold like an LTD bass to that big, I forgot that dude's name. I don't know where, he hasn't been back for quite a while. I mean, he used to come in and buy basses all the time. But anyway, first week in the end, he was just so adamant that I'd sold it to him like with the electronics busted, and just so adamant about it. And I couldn't replicate like what he was experiencing at all. So I had him go home and check like his power supply and his cables, and he had like 2 bad patch cables that were shorting out. So that's why it was so inconsistent, just depending on what he was using.
Right.
So anyway, like stuff like that goes a long way. Like just troubleshooting, or even having like a process to your troubleshooting, because I feel like a lot of people just immediately assume it's the new thing that they just got, instead of looking at all the other things that you've been probably using and abusing for quite some time.
It could be the one time you pulled that out to put the new thing in.
I've had it happen. Like the 9-volt thing on my, or the 9-volt like plug ended up breaking on my noise gate, and for the longest time I didn't know that that's what it was. But all of a sudden I would just get this big bzz in the power, and it would just, when that thing would get nudged just the right way, it would short out.
So bottom line, kids, check your shit.
Exactly.
Before you rant and rave on an email.
Yeah.
Hey, things happen. Don't get me wrong. We've had it happen. Some stuff is not, people assume and jump out the gate like there's some nefarious scheme to ruin your ship.
Yeah, like we had time to purposely pick out that messed up pedal.
Yeah, and we're like, we're going to show this guy. Like, we want to deal with that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so, like I said, just if something comes in and it's not right, check it. I know we're off the rails again. Check it. But if you get back to the company that you purchased it from and just talk to them and be like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. What do you guys suggest? 9 times out of 10, you're going to get some companies that are crap. But 9 times out of 10, the company's going to be very accommodating and try to figure out how to help you out.
Well, so, more times than not, if you're honest, it's going to help alleviate the situation and the problem quicker. Because like if we actually know what we're dealing with, like if it's
we
not,
may be able to find the solution too,
right, without you having to even send it back if it's something that's not, that might not be related to the pedal. Right. So it's like checking those things goes a long way to just saving everybody some hassle. So.
Yeah, and especially for us, I mean, we're more than happy to try to work through a problem if there is a problem.
Yeah.
And if it, is, but some people are just, they want to accuse you of being an asshole right out the gate.
But yeah, troubleshooting is just process of elimination. Just start with patch cables, power supplies, and go from there. 9 times out of 10, that's going to be, where most of the issues lie. So.
Yep. Anyway, sorry, we went off the rails.
That was valuable.
It's been a thing recently
that
we've got like these. We've had some situations recently, and it's been nothing.
Right.
And we've taken care of all of them.
Right.
But it was just, it's like it happens. It's like, oh, here we go again. But
well, yeah, it racks up returns that just feel very avoidable. I guess that's the main.
And it's also too. Yeah. That we have to go through another process, and the customer, if we look at it from the customer perspective, they got to wait longer to get a replacement, or they got to wait longer to figure, you know what I mean?
Well, and it's one of those things, too, like, I feel like when we deal with this in person versus online, it's a night and day difference, because usually people in person will just go ahead and call us and be like, hey, can I bring my board in? Can you help me? And it's like, yeah, we'll try to troubleshoot and figure out what's going on. But, like, when we can't help you in person, I feel like a lot of people get super, super defensive really quick. Like,
they try to do a Zoom thing if it's possible, just because that way we could actually have a conversation, and it's not like you're missing or misinterpreting something through it.
Well, that way, if we have to, if there's a show and tell part of the troubleshooting.
Right. All right, let's move through, because it's we're getting busy already.
Yeah, Terry G. So his was not really redundant, but it also touched on power supplies. He was basically asking pedalboard power supplies, should you be looking at one large power supply to power all of your pedals, or multiple small ones to run them across your board? Or I guess he's saying, like, should you get something like the Zuma, which is like 12, excuse me, coffee's fighting right, or something like the Ojai, which is just, you can daisy chain up to 4 of them, I think. So
I think it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah, I was going to say,
it depends on what you're trying to do with the board, or how big you're going to build the board.
Right.
Well,
yeah, that's what I was going to say, kind of going back to the previous, or, Pat's previous question. Like, you got to know how many you need and how much current you need, obviously. I do think, honestly, the Ojai, if you're going to chain multiple power supplies together, that is the way to go. The Voodoo one is solid, but I think the Strymon one, for the little bit more money that you're paying, is a lot more flexible. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, if you're going to chain multiple supplies together, I would go with that one. If not, then yeah, again, like you said, it kind of depends. I kind of like having, I guess, all in one, but I wouldn't be opposed. Like, the bigger the board gets, the more handy it could be to have them broken up. I could, because having different segments, like if let's say you had a bunch of digital stuff and then you had some stuff that wasn't, you could even just have like one solid like Voodoo supply or like an Atos, and then just daisy chain one more supply off of that. With like the courtesy jack or something, so that way if your digital stuff needs more current, you could run those just off the Ojai or something. So I mean, there's a lot of I guess we're getting a lot of ways to skin a cat with this. Exactly. It really just depends on your needs.
Not that we condone skinning cats.
No skinning cats. That is a shitty expression, I guess. Now that I think about it.
Right.
There's multiple ways to pare a pickle.
And sure, we're moving on. Okay, so next is Metalhead Hippie says, what do you guys think of TASCAM products? He just ordered a mixer from a suggestion from TTK. So as far as I know, TASCAM's good stuff. We've, over the years, used some different items for recording and stuff like that. There's a lot of good options. You already ordered it, so
I was gonna say personally,
it's total shit.
Well, like if I was on the market for a mixer interface combo right now,
I'd go with the Mackie.
Well, I was gonna say Mackie's actually coming out with the Onyx 12, which is a 12. Yeah, and you can actually I believe you can do independent lines for at least 10 of them. But it's a 12-channel mixer with preamps for 12 of the channels. which is not something that they've had on the previous ones. But it's also an interface with direct lines, so you can be like mic 1, mic 2, mic 3. You can have different lines instead of just consolidating.
And that's a little bit more for podcasting, right?
It's that, or even just like if you're doing, if you're doing more like home recording or even like band recording, to where like you could have all the mics going in, but you can also still run it all, into whatever your DAW is and have tracks for each one. Because like the way we run it with just like a mixer going into, you only basically get a side A and side B. Right and left. So for the most part, we end up just consolidating, whether it's 3 mics or 1 mic, it all gets consolidated down to just the one channel. Whereas like the Onyx 12 that's coming out, you can run each one individually. So you could then later, like if you wanted to even do a little mastering on like live recordings, you could tidy that all up individually we
might have to get one of those for future things.
Yeah, because I was looking at it the other day. I think they're getting ready to launch here soon. I think they're going all the way up to like a 16 channel one. Nice. But yeah, having like Onyx preamps on every single one of the lines.
We might have to invest in one of those, or see if we can get somebody to comp us one. Hey, we're gonna do a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it'll be good for your needs there, Hippie.
Yeah.
All right, last question comes from Ben Coombs. Can you recommend an octave pedal that doesn't sound polyphonic?
So I think
this is a Dylan question.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think this question he's getting, or what he's getting at, is like an analog octave pedal. Is the better way of describing the non-polyphonic stuff. I'm honestly not super well versed with anything outside of the Boss OC stuff in terms of the analog octave pedals. So it is kind of funny that we were talking about that earlier. But yeah, like the Boss OC5, the OC2, the OC3, those all tend to be staples for that, especially because he's saying, like, I think, the rest of his comment said that tracking was not an issue. I forgot that part was after that. But anyway, yeah, he was saying that tracking was not an issue. So what he's referring to that is like tracking with digital stuff tends to be a little tighter these days. I mean, I can't say it's always been that way, but these days the digital stuff does tend to track a little better. But a lot of people love like the quirkiness and weirdness of kind of the analog octave stuff. Yeah, because like analog octave, like if you've ever played like an Octavia style pedal, that one's an analog octave up. The OC2 stuff, obviously it's analog down, but it's still a lot more, I guess, tactile in a way. It doesn't respond nearly as quickly, but it's that's part of the fun, I guess. Kind of like fuzz. Like it's not the most responsive thing in the world.
You got to play the pedal a little bit.
Right, but yeah, that's part of the fun, is like the different feel that it has compared to other things, or compared to the digital stuff. So, I think, what's that company that used to make like the noise gate, the Hush? Damn it, what was that noise?
Oh yeah.
God, what, like those big blue. I can't remember. They used to make a.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember at this point.
Well, if I remember it when I'm making the edits, I'll try to throw the company in. But that company that company ended up making like an analog octave that I know a lot of like bass players used to swear by. It's another weird one. Like it's a quirky one, kind of like the OC2, but bass players used to really love that one too. I'm sure for guitar it would be a lot of fun as well. I don't think it was Korg, was it? Korg didn't make that, right?
I don't remember.
I feel like it was
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up.
My brain is mush.
Yeah.
My brain is mush and I don't have enough coffee.
Rocktron. So. That was it. The Rocktron Hush. That was it. Rocktron used to make an analog octave pedal that had kind of a cult following. I'll have to look up the model on that one. But
you might be able to find it somewhere on Reverb or something.
Yeah. Yeah, if I find the name of it, I'll just throw a little thing in the video somewhere.
Sweet. All right, I think that's it for this week, right?
Yep. Yeah, we're technically been open. We started open.
I start getting antsy. I'm like,
me too.
Out there. Okay, so we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Comment, all that other good, happy stuff. The same shit every other YouTuber asks you to do.
Well, it does actually help, like the little channels. Like even if it's not us, just liking small channels content in general is a huge help.
Helps.
Yeah, doesn't matter how much you got out of it. Like if you liked what they did at all, that I feel like that's the least people can do, and it really does actually. From what I've been looking at, it really helps a lot, like hitting the like button on stuff. So
yep. So please hit the like button.
Yeah.
All right. We'll catch you guys on the flip side.